We're live. Mo's not here. Okay, so Mo had to get up for a second. Sorry, Mo, I went live when you got up. We're live. We're live, you guys. So we're Maurice and a Prometheus Unchained. We're waiting for American Curls and Uber guy, but they should and Zach. They should be coming soon. Zach King. So anyway, guys, how are you guys? What's going on? What have you been up to? How long has it been since our last get together? Like 2 months? More than that, longer than that, huh?
Yeah, it's been more than that. It was like November or something.
Yeah, it was right before midterms. So let's just kind of talk about midterms. Were you guys happy with the results? Because I think the last time we met was before midterms, right before midterms, right? Were you guys happy with the results?
Not where I'm at. I'm not happy.
Oh yeah, that's right. That's
No,
right.
I'm not happy. You got you know, what I'm saying you got a noisy Nancy house, and no, I'm not happy with it. I've been unhappy lately with a lot of.
Well, that's up. Okay, so what are you happy? What are you unhappy with as far as like the politics and stuff? Spit it out.
And just all the hate, you know, and it's people are programming. They're not trying to. It's like these people are not caring about America. They're not caring about the people. You know, all they want to do is destroy the people, and it's draining my spirit. It's draining my spirit, and it's like I'm almost, you know, what I'm saying I have no answers for this. You know, only thing I can say is we keep on. Let's keep doing what we're doing. You know, because it's not better. That's the way I feel. That's the way I feel. I'm just.
Well, you know what I do too? I honestly have to take breaks from it and do something like music or something.
Yeah.
You know, away. I think no matter how passionate you are and how involved you are, it still gets to a point where it's could be too overwhelming, especially since there's so much negativity from the other side, and that's not, you know, where you're at. So even people that are watching maybe who aren't as active, like I would suggest just be like, take a week or a few days off from just all of this, you know, and do something, you know, watch something that inspires you, you know, because I feel like if you're too much on this, you can actually start to lose faith in humanity. You actually forget why we're doing what we're doing. Because, you know, it is like I'm just, you know, I'm keeping abreast of things, but I have a new job now and I'm working a lot. Somebody else joining? I'm about to text Zach and Rachel. American Curls. Right. Anyway, she says she's okay. So American Curl says she's going to be a little late. Yeah, so I mean, I feel like I honestly have to do that. You know, you can still care and still take a break because, you know, I mean, even though politics is really important, politics isn't what we're here on Earth for. You know, politics is there's more to life on Earth and being a human being than politics. You know.
Yeah, Trump will be in office forever, and me and Hope, we talked about that a lot lately, and it said what y'all gonna do when Trump? What y'all gonna do? Y'all get up, try to match up every story with oh yeah, look what happened with the wall today. People trying to match up everybody's stories, and sometimes it get like it get kind of like played out, you know. And we need to worry about what's going on in the city, like, you know, focus on our passion. What we can do to help. What we can do to help. It's not all the time. It's not be Republican because both sides are jacked up, messed up, tore up from the flow up, you know. And we gotta act like Trump is not in office right now. We gotta act like, yes, we still gonna we still gonna do what we're doing. We're gonna still fight for our country, you know. But it's time to just take us to another level, everybody. And
well, I mean, I've always been an advocate of too, you know, it's great that we have a president that seems like he's fighting for us the best that he can, but at the same time, you know, you can't rely on one person to change everything. So what would we have done if Trump wasn't in office and we had Hillary? Like, what would we be doing? You know?
Can I answer the question real quick about like where I'm at?
Yeah.
So like with the midterms, I'm actually kind of happy with how it turned out because let's see, Dan Crenshaw, he ended up winning around my area, so that's a good thing. He's if you look at Dan Crenshaw, he's like he's very good, like articulate, and he's a very fair kind of guy. And I think he's like an ex-Navy SEAL veteran. So I mean, he's really cool, and that's for anybody watching the YouTube. But Senator Ted Cruz, he won, and I volunteered to help a little bit with his campaign for Senate. I think I volunteered like twice, so I'm really happy that he won. But I mean, where I'm at, you know, I'm actually pretty happy with how it turned out. So, but
Yeah,
it could have been a lot better with midterms. I think there's a lack of unity. I think that's the biggest problem with the Republican Party. There's just this lack of unity because, you know, I guess everybody's got made up in their mind that it's got to be dog eat dog by any means necessary. Yet the left and the Democrats have been unified. They've always been united for like 50, 60 years. So people are stupid. They're not paying attention. That's just my opinion.
Oh yeah, you just fade it all. But yeah, I mean, I guess I'm happy only because Prometheus and I are in Texas. But I think I was about to lose my damn mind when I thought Beto was gonna win. Like, yeah, I was like, but just barely. And I really believe it was because of all the cheating they did. And my thing is, why aren't they talking about trying to get these national IDs done? Because this should be our next order of business, especially before the next election. You know?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think it's actually happening. If you look at Judicial Watch has been pretty much, it seems like the only law firm that's been pursuing that, cleaning up the ballots and all that stuff. And I think I heard recently that there was like 95,000 like non-citizens registered to vote, and I think like 50-something thousand
That's
of them actually voted. Well, that's all they discovered. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah,
because we obviously know it's a lot more than that, especially here in Texas. So
yeah, and especially like nothing. Why did anything happen to Beto in his campaign where they were obviously getting people to that were legal to vote. They were catering to them. His whole website was in Spanish. They had those undercover tapes of people in his campaigns getting, you know, saying that they were helping people from the caravan. You know, it's so frustrating. But I'm just talking about just the ID cards, you know, that would really help just like stop all that. Because we know that there are a lot of people that are illegal that are voting, but we just want something to make it harder for them to vote, you know, the next election. And I mean, I really believe that we would even win the popular vote in addition to, you know, winning the electoral college 2020 if we got all that in order, you know.
Yeah, and see, here's the thing: is like everybody's got it all made up in their mind. Like, if they just ignore the problem, it's gonna go away, or you know, they just got it made up in their mind. Like, all these politicians are like superheroes, and they could just fly around and save the world, and nobody wants to get off their ass and try to do anything about it. Like, it's so simple to just go ahead and call ICE, or to even go to what is it called, everify.gov, and you can actually see like what businesses actually test to see, like, to verify if someone's a citizen or not. But people are too lazy from the grassroots level up. And another thing is with the census, Kamala Harris and the rest of the Dems, that citizenship, that's a really big problem. Because, you know, a citizen would actually help, you know, the population so that we can have a more accurate voting in the future. But this just goes to show how united and how resistant that the Dems are. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, very true. Very true. Hey, American Curls. So
I'm gonna. Hi guys.
Hey.
I'll be right back, okay? I just got home like 2 seconds ago.
Hey, Jack.
Okay. Oh, there, yeah. Jack waves. Okay. Okay, guys, I'll be right back, okay?
Okay.
Okay. I want to put this on pause.
So, oh, by the way, I want to wrap this up by 8. So this isn't going to be a super long one tonight because I gotta get up early. But yeah, I mean, but you know what? I think Prometheus. I think a lot of people are just very overwhelmed as well. You know, there's so much going on. You know, the American lifestyle has gotten harder. If you have to work, and especially if you're in places like California where they're taxing the crap out of people. So it's just hard. Like I think, some of the information I provide, people that I know would actually be down to, or be open to listening to some of it. But a lot of them too, they're just overwhelmed. I don't have kids, so or a family, so I respect that. All this information, all this stuff is just too much. And then, especially with the mainstream media overwhelming people and just feeding them lies, I think a lot of people just kind of like shut off as well.
Yeah, I agree, but see, it's a matter of, it's really just a matter of time management. Like people have to actually be willing to say, you know what, I'm going to set aside 30 minutes today, this to take care of, but 30 minutes is like kind of like when I sent that website, www.promise.com or whatever. It shows all of Trump's achievements. President Trump, he became the president. So, I think it's more of a time management type of thing. And then on top of that, like, I mean, I'm with my son right now. My son, he's riding his bike, and we're on this video chat. But I'm still trying to take the initiative to set aside a little bit of time, because I care.
Yeah. You're right. When there's a will, there's a way. Sorry to
just say damn or this, that. Action's got to back up your words. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And you got to try to come up with people. We can't just depend on ourselves. We can't just do it ourselves. We got to do the same thing. Like I said, the Democrats have done for 50, 60 plus years. And we got to learn how to work together, put aside our differences, and really try to make time, despite whatever we're going through or whatever bills we gotta pay, to try to help
to do something. Yeah, because we're not gonna have a country if we don't. We're not gonna.
I mean, what is it? We got over 25 million illegal immigrants. That's really, really bad.
Yeah, that's like 1/8 of the population now. What is it?
I'm not sure.
That's 1/8. It was about, what, are we still about 300 million? So wait, how much is, it's not 1/8, that's like a 12. I think it's a 12, but that's still like 25. If it's 25, 1, 2. Yeah, it's a 12, but that's still bad, That's it's crazy, and it's getting out of hand. And one of my frustrations is, especially, I feel like I noticed this when I was driving Lyft, is a lot of people that are pro illegal legal immigrations are people that either benefit from it because they're hiring cheap labor, or they're legal immigrants themselves. They have family that are legal immigrants, or a lot of the people, especially all these like hippy dippy people in Austin, they're rich, and they have either, they're not affected by it in a negative way. So they don't care. So, they're just like, they're not in the neighborhoods, they're not living where, in the neighborhoods where the illegal criminals are, they're not affected by that. They're not, their school system isn't overwhelmed. They're, they can find parking. Like, so, it's just really frustrating. Anything else? I'm waiting for American Curls. Are you back? She's not back. Okay. I think Zach's gonna come on in a minute. Sorry, I was texting, trying to see. Uber guy can't make it, but Zach is I guess he's on his way hopefully soon. But yeah, anything you want to add about like the midterms? Oh, okay, you're back. So we were kind of opening up, talking about, since the last time you met, the midterms and what we felt about it, and were you satisfied with the results of the midterms? So American Curls, what are your thoughts? How do you feel? I think you're muted. You're muted. You're muted. You're muted.
Okay.
Okay.
Can you hear me? Okay. Sorry. Technical difficulties. Can I come? Okay. Can I come right back? I have to answer that in a minute. I'm having some issues.
Yeah. Come back.
I'll be right back. Okay.
So I guess we could just move on to the next thing, unless you guys have anything you want to add to that, and then we'll let her answer that when she comes back. Anybody else want to talk about the results of the midterms? Yes or no? All right. So big thing right now, the abortion bill. Do you guys heard about that? That was passed in New York.
The what?
The abortion bill.
Yeah, the abortion.
Did you hear about? So basically, they passed a bill that says people can get late-term abortions up to the time of birth. Up to the time of birth. So I'm like, at that point, why don't you just give it up for adoption? You know, or like, geez.
Because they want to depopulate us. They don't want. On now, they want to dehumanize us. They don't want the population to grow. They want to create other stuff, unnormal stuff, but they don't want normal. They don't want people to country to grow. And let's just be real. And
and especially, it's going to affect the blacks, the black community the most.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
And it's like, where's Black Lives Matter now? They don't care. They don't even realize like what's going on in that aspect. To me, some of the most effective racists are people that do passive aggressive things like that, right? Their racism isn't very outward, but it comes in a form where they're like, oh, we care about you. So they pretend that they care about you and they care about your rights, but they're killing you. They're killing you at the same time, while they're saying that they care about you. So I mean, it's just, I was shocked. I found out, I think Friday, because I had actually taken a break, like I was talking about earlier, and then some of the subscribers were telling me about it, and I was just catching up with a lot of stuff. And I mean, it's so, I don't know, it's unbelievable to me.
Yes.
Can y'all hear me?
I can hear you now.
I hear you.
Okay, yeah, it's kind of fading in and out, so I'm sorry if you can't hear me, but yeah, see, I think it's really just it's really barbaric, what they are doing, and it's like, I don't know who the powers that be, mainstream media, special interest groups, like, they're trying to create a culture. They glamorize it and they make it look cool. You have there's already studies negative cool women when they have, especially these late-term abortions, and they end up regretting it in the future. So I think it's like they're trying to make it look like it's all right, like agreeing with Maurice, to basically like dwindle down the population some. And then they'll replace us with the illegals while they're making our population going down. And then later on, it has negative psychological effects with these women.
Yeah.
So it's, I mean,
physical and psychological. Physical and psychological.
Yeah, definitely physical. That's without saying, but and a lot, it's just
Sorry, I didn't hear.
It's just, and oh, can you hear me?
Yeah, I didn't catch the last thing you said. The last thing I heard you say was dwindling. I know it was obviously physiological, and then you said something else.
Yeah, and it's like, in my opinion, it's kind of like creating a culture of which coming in it. You know what I'm saying?
A creating culture of what?
Toxic femininity.
Yeah, I mean, well, it's all about taking everything out of balance, because there is such thing as toxic masculinity and femininity, but when it's, it's basically making if if everything is out of balance, and you have a very slivered society, and they, people don't talk about that women can't get pregnant by themselves. It takes a man, it's a man's baby too. So it's very, this is just wrong on so many levels. And it's not even about, I think it's about a lot of things. I think it's about eugenics, of course, which we were just talking about. It's about population control, eugenics. It's about money, because of course, if they don't just throw the babies away, or they don't incinerate them. They use them for, experimentation. I said this in my last video, and some people are flipping out. They're like, "That's not true," but there's this. You should look this up if you don't know this. There's this Cinomics. It's a flavor. It's a company that engineered flavor enhancers for food, and they use cells from aborted babies. They're called Hex 293 cells. And they use the kidney cells from aborted babies as flavor enhancers for food. So like in Pepsi and Cheetos and stuff like that. So it's also used. They're also used in cosmetics. I don't know if you know if you saw the interview with Ellen with Sandra Bullock, and they were talking about it. You guys see that?
No, I didn't see it, but what happened?
I didn't see that.
It was a few months ago. You can probably find this on the internet. I think it still might be up. But basically, Ellen and Sandra Bullock was on Ellen DeGeneres, and they were talking about a new cream that's supposed to help rejuvenate your skin and make you look younger, and it's made from Korean circumcised babies.
Ew.
Yeah. So it's used in vaccines. They grow the cells on, not all vaccines, but some vaccines, they grow the cell cultures on aborted baby tissue. So it's multi things. And then I just think straight up Satanism. I don't care. Like, I used to be afraid to talk about this. So I used to didn't believe in it, but I think that that there are members in our government, in Hollywood and stuff, that's into that stuff. So it's now, especially that the babies are whole. Did you ever see that Planned Parenthood video where they were selling baby parts? Did you see that, you guys? Oh, dude.
No, I don't think I saw them. Oh, yeah, I saw it. Yeah, it was like a
video. I've seen some videos like that was Planned Parenthood. It might have been, but I've seen some.
It was like undercover. Was it undercover?
I don't know that, but I seen some video with body parts and.
Yeah, that was like the undercover video, and they were talking. Okay. They were talking about like we really like the more whole the baby is, the better it is, So now like companies are going to be pushing for this because it's better for them to have full intact fetuses and full intact babies instead of parts, because usually when they perform the abortions, they rip the baby up in the process. So sorry to get graphic, but this is what it's about. So American Pros, we're talking about abortion.
Yeah.
Okay. So I see you have your pro-life shirt.
Yes. Oh,
that's from Steven Crowder. Steven Crowder.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts on that?
Okay. Well, you know what? I actually made a post about this, and I didn't even know that the the bill, I didn't know that it had passed the same day that I made this post on Facebook. But on Facebook, I said 3,000 Black babies were lynched from, I believe it was 18. I don't remember exactly, but it was like the 1882, I think it was, to 1968. 3,000 Black people. It was like 3,400 Black people were lynched, and now 900 babies, Black babies, die every day through abortion. And so, you know how you see so often Democrats, they're always like talking about racism, and they're just like, oh, the KKK, and they just talk about how, well, you know, the Black men and the unarmed Black men are targets for the police, and they talk about all these things like racism and stuff, and they don't even realize every 3 days, literally every 3 days, 3,000 Black babies, almost 3,000 Black babies are murdered through abortion. Like, if you really wanted to kill Black people, wouldn't abortion be like the best way to do it? You know, like, people aren't going around with coin masks and burning crosses in people's house. No, like, they've tricked you. They put 80% of the clinics in the Black neighborhoods, and they basically trick you into going yourself. And now that we have this bill, I want to know, what do the pro-Black people think about this? Because if most Black people are the ones that are getting killed this way, and now they have this thing so that you can kill more of your babies, you know, how do Black people feel about this, the pro-Black community, knowing that we were basically targeted by by Margaret Sanger? I feel like they should be furious, you know, like, how can you be pro-Black? Oh, go ahead.
Oh, I was going to say, well, I think a lot of them don't know that. I mean, you know what I mean? Like, a lot of them just don't know it. They don't realize it. They don't think about it. And they, you know, they're just emotionally triggered like a dog whistle by what they see on TV. So they see cops getting, you know, shooting people. They're brainwashed, you know, to find racism, you know, under every rock they see, because, you know, they've been conditioned to live in fear. So, you know, it's like people are scared of terrorism and stuff, right? But most likely that's not the way that you're going to get killed. You know, it's a very, so it's kind of like the same way, like they've been programmed to be in fear, like terrorism, to get shot by cops, but not look at the whole, they're not looking at the whole race being genocided as, you know, through via abortion.
Yeah.
So I think a lot of them, they just don't know. And then if you say it, they just, you know, a lot of people will just be like in denial of it. But I remember my dad, before, you know, the internet and everything, telling me this as a kid. And I don't think he even really knew exactly what he was talking about, but he was just like, why are all the Planned Parenthood abortions like in like South Central? You know, why don't you see them in like Beverly Hills?
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
It was just like, I don't really, and at the time I was like, yeah, I guess you're right. But I didn't really think about why that was. I was just like, oh yeah, I just agreed that was a fact, but I didn't really think about, you know, the whole, and, you know, I was too young to understand the concept of marketing. And if you're going to market to somebody, you're going to put your offices or your advertisements in their neighborhoods. You know?
Yeah.
To me, that's the real racists are eugenicists, and they're upper level. They don't run around in peace. That's like the low level racist, you know? Those people aren't as effective as a high level racist.
And then, I mean, it's clever for them. They have actually tricked Black people to thinking they were their friend. You know, it basically flipped the script. Like, the ones that are actually racist trying to kill them, they think are helping them. You know, Hillary, how she was supportive of this bill, and I cannot believe that, you know, so many more Black people aren't calling her out for this.
Wasn't she quoted saying that Margaret Sanger was her hero?
Yeah,
you know?
she was.
Yep. Oh,
you know, and then what she did to Haiti. You know, and then she, you know, it's suspected that she was involved in sex trafficking down there, you know, and then she stole all their money, and you know, they're, you know, so I mean, to me, that's what a real racist does.
Yeah, they're not going to be obvious. They're not going to burn a cross on your lawn. They're not going to call you the N-word, you know, when you walk by. Like, no, that's not how they're going to get you. It's too obvious. But that's what they have us consumed with. Well, like a lot of the Black liberals, they're consumed with those kinds of things. like, oh, like my boss doesn't like my natural hair, you know. But
yeah, well, find another fucking job. Excuse my language. Like, you know, but see, it's like their insecurities. And I was just talking to one of my friends about the people that come up on my channel that are pro-black, but yeah, they'll talk about my hair being nappy, or they'll talk about my skin color and call me a high yellow heifer, which I'm just like, okay, well, yeah, way to go for being pro-black. You know, you sound like the races that you're saying that I'm supporting. You know, it's like, are you really a black person? Are you like a black person posing as a white person posing as a racist? Because that's what you really sound like. I mean, a black person, but that's what you really sound like, a racist, you know? And then you have who promotes gangster rap. I'm trying to like look at the chat and talk to you guys too. Somebody also mentioned that they're trying to promote this bill in Vermont. They're probably gonna try and get it all over the United States. What I want to know, does anybody know if like what needs to happen to defund Planned Parenthood?
That's a good question. You guys
Can you repeat that? I didn't hear.
Well, you should have been paying attention. And I always like messing with Mo. And I was saying, does anybody know what has to happen to defund Planned Parenthood? Because I remember that was one of the things that they were talking about when Trump was running, was to defund, you know, get Planned Parenthood defunded.
Yeah, I don't know.
Does anybody know, Mo? Do you know?
Because that's a lot of. It starts in the black community. Because a lot of black communities suffer from lack of knowledge. It starts with, we got to be more influenced to the black community. We the people, we got to gonna take people like us to influence the black community and talk to them, you know, because lately, like myself, I have talked to black people, gave them common sense and said this here, this is the principles. They support abortion. And I told them, for real, man, I ain't know that. A lot of them don't know. It starts in the black community. Once it starts from there, the people in the black community can go ahead and help. But we got to reach them one by one. We got to plant a seed, not get to come to the to walk away from the. I mean, not to get them to be a concern, to understand what's going on in the black community, what's going on with Planned Parenthood.
Not only that, the prison system too, you know, and I mean, I talk about GMOs and vaccines and all that stuff too, because I really think, I mean, it affects everybody's mental well-being, but if you're eating food and getting medical procedures that are making you not cognitive, then you're going to have a hard time absorbing this information. So to me, I'm also like, my big thing, I would really like to see changes the health of the black community too. We eat, you know, blacks eat so much soul food, and you know, I know what you guys we're talking about the black community, but this goes for other people too. I guess we just kind of, you know, this goes for everybody that, you know, ingest all this stuff. But you know, what you put into your body also affects your health and your mental well-being. And if you're not healthy, then you're not going to be able to fight. You're not going to be able to have the intelligence to really absorb this information and do something about it. And this is part of the dumbing down process. Soul food, Mr. TKO. I know you can still have soul food, but you can do healthier soul food, you know?
Yeah.
So what I think would be a
greens.
greens.
Use coconut oil and not lard, you know, I'm sorry, go on, Prometheus.
No, y'all cool. Well, I mean, y'all are talking about like the black community and the grassroots level and stuff, but I think what needs to happen in order to defund Planned Parenthood, I think this is actually going to be a leadership type of issue that needs to be addressed. So it would be probably important to, for the current administration to pass as many conservative judges as they can in each district, because I think that would help in the process of, like, if we defund Planned Parenthood and they try to like create a law to stop forcing taxpayers to pay for it, then we would have the judges to back up that it passed, you know, instead of all of these liberal judges that they don't you know, they don't judge by this, tend to interpret the Constitution. So, but this goes back to Roe versus Wade, and that's really a giant fight with Justice Kavanaugh. So I think it's a mix of a bill to stop forcing people to pay for it, and then to have conservative judges sell law.
Supreme Court's the key. Linda T says. So could the Supreme Court overturn this, right? Or they can like make it federally illegal or something like that?
Yeah, I see.
I'm sorry, is that it? Is that you said, yeah, they can do that?
Yeah, I think they could if they wanted to overturn Roe versus Wade.
You know, it's interesting because I was thinking about that. Would they have to have a case or something? Like, how would that work? I mean, I'm embarrassed. There's so much to learn. I feel like I wasn't really taught how this worked in school, so I'm having to learn. And of course, parting the doubling down situation, right? Not teaching people how our government works. As I'm learning more, I've learned so much since this election that I didn't know. There's no turning Roe versus Wade. States can. It's up to the states. There's no turning Roe versus Wade. I'm also reading the comments.
You know, I was wondering about that too, because even I think yesterday I was talking to my mom and I was like, how did New York even pass this law in the first place? Because I'm not aware that many people would have been okay with this. So
yeah. Even people that I know that are pro-choice are like, damn, this is crazy.
Yeah.
Like that's too much.
Yeah. And so I'm like, how did they do that? I don't understand.
I'm sorry, what? Go on, Prometheus.
Is he gone? I can't hear anything.
Okay, go on. We'll just wait till it comes back and then.
Okay. Yeah. I wish I knew. I wish I knew how that happened.
Well, I guess it was a bill, and they just it was a bill, and they the governor signed into law.
Well, it could be because like by states.
I'm sorry, what?
The connection's breaking up.
Okay, you're clear now. So go.
Oh, okay, yeah, my bad. But what I was saying is like I don't really necessarily know about the law, but is that it's really funny how like these liberals are trying to move heaven and earth, and these special interest groups were actually paying fake protesters, Justice Kavanaugh, from being confirmed, and then they kept talking about, well, it's about Roe versus Wade. It's about
Hey, I can't. You're fake.
So I don't know if you can reverse it or
You're breaking up.
You're breaking up.
I can't hear you.
Maybe we should text him.
Somebody says he sounds like a robot that is dying.
Dying.
I'm sorry.
That's funny. We should text him. Maybe he doesn't know.
Yeah. Do you have his number? All right.
Well,
we can't. You're like, I'm getting like.
I'm gonna come right back.
Okay, you gonna come back, or you can go in the house? Okay, yeah. He's such a good dad. He's trying to multitask. His son's riding his bike. Okay, so is this the three of us? He said he'll come back. That's funny. The Dems are too far gone. Okay, so we're still on abortion. Yeah, so it can be overturned or it can't be overturned. You don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. You know, Mo? I definitely don't know.
Yeah, because I was thinking that too.
Stand up, and I think if more people in the Black community stand up, it could be overturned.
Yeah, I think so.
We need to stand up. The right people, you ain't got the right people standing up. You got the the dumbing down. They down. They ain't standing up. They too dumbed down.
Yeah, I started to think that it could also be, with Black people having such high rates of abortion, a lot of them may have actually had abortions, and so they may not want to come face to face with the fact that they were tricked, basically that they weren't taught the truth. And so now if they accept this, they're going to have to accept the fact that they took part in, Margaret Sanger's plan. And that can't be easy.
Oh, totally. I think you're spot on, American Carlos, because even I've, talked about or thought about this with the vaccine. That's why you get so much opposition, where there's a lot of evidence that, to me, it's very clear, like how much damage they can do. But you have people that, they don't want to admit that they may have damaged their son or their daughter, or, so it's, the truth movement, and when my friend and I had our podcast, we talked a lot about this. It's also very introspective, right? Like it's really, at the end of the day, it's a personal journey, because not only are you going to have to like come to terms with all the conspiracies that have been thrust upon you, but you're going to have to come to terms that, that you've been tricked, that you participated in it, that you may have been a part of hurting somebody else, which I believe in, forgiveness and is repenting and all of that stuff. So as long as you come to terms with that, and you make an effort to do something to make that right that wrong, then that's okay. So that's why too, like when I did the video on abortion, I try not to be like hard on people that have aborted babies, because I know a lot of people that have had abortions, but I think none of them I know are like really proud of it. And I think that that's why I don't know if you remember that Shout Your Abortion campaign. Do you remember that? That was so gross. That was just like, I'm proud of my abortion, hashtag. What? Like,
I know.
But we've all been tricked. We've all been bamboozled and brainwashed. So we just have to realize that and then move on and figure out how we can fix it, Sorry, go on.
Yeah. Because I think that like the best thing, like if you truly, truly want to help the Black community, I would think that even though you might have made the mistake, that you would want to stop a younger girl from making the same mistake. And so I think that just kind of brushing it under the rug and just kind of ignoring it because you did it is not really that helpful, especially if you want to actually help the Black community, like because I done stupid stuff, I've done a lot of stupid stuff. We've all done stuff we shouldn't have done. And so I think in the end, if it's to help the Black community, like we have to just, move past things like that. And I think that's how it is with the unarmed shooting thing. Like a lot of people don't want to accept the fact that we do have a lot of crime in the Black neighborhood.
And we're killing each other. We're killing each other. Like people get so offended where you're like, but that's a fact. So we're not trying to win a contest here. We're trying to admit it so we can stop it.
Yeah,
we want to stop it. Yeah, like we want less Black people to die. So and then they get mad and they're like, "Oh, it's racist." No, it's true. Like I don't think that you can't fix a problem until you admit to it, and that's the thing. And I think a lot of people are in denial about a lot of stuff that's going on. And I have this idea that it might work, but this is why I'm trying to get more into like making informational videos and stuff. I'm like, if we can get some of these, you're gonna laugh, but I think it actually might work. This is my plan, okay? If we can get some of these into like the Black hair salons, and people will watch them. And for you guys that don't know this about Black people that are watching this, that aren't Black and don't understand, like the hair culture is crazy in the sense that people are so obsessed with their hair that we will go to a hair salon before we would eat. I mean, generally speaking, right? But I've had some really interesting conversations in Black hair salons because it's one part of society where you have different socioeconomic groups of Black people meeting and talking to each other. Because whether you're a high class or low class, you still have the same hair, and Supercuts isn't trained to do Black hair, so you got to go to the Black hair salon. And you're in a place where you're sitting down in a chair for hours and hours and hours, and you have to talk to other people. And I've had some heated debates and arguments and also revelations when I used to get weaves and stuff, getting my weave done, getting my hair done. Because when you get braids, if you guys don't know, if you get like the braids and stuff, that takes, I don't know, anywhere from 5 to 10 hours, depending on how little the braids are. Weaves take a long time. People are there. So people are there for hours sitting down. And a lot of times we watch videos and movies and we talk about them when we're getting our hair done. And I remember I saw a lot of people in a situation question DVD that somebody brought in about Obama. And they actually were looking at some of the stuff that was presented to them. And I actually saw some people actually open up about that instead of shutting down, because they had to sit there and absorb it. Does that make sense? I don't know.
Yeah. They have to sit there. They have no choice but to listen. They have to sit down. They have to hit. They have to observe it. They have to get in their system. It's right there. And they ain't got no choice but to.
And they can't move because they don't want to mess up their hair.
I like it. I think you're right.
You know what I mean? So I'm just saying, I don't know. I'm trying to figure out how to do this. And my thing is I want to do I want to do it in small seconds, just to be like, if he, like a dude would come in and be like, here's some bootleg movies. And then some of the times he have conspiracy stuff and they'll be like, oh, okay, well, this is interesting. We saw all the other movies. What else do you have today? So if we could do something like that and get into the Black community, I think we have a chance of red pilling people.
Yeah. Yeah. You know what? If you come from the point of view of like conspiracies and not so much politics, I bet that would be more impactful.
Yeah, because a lot of people, I think Black people, I'm sorry, I'm trying not to like leave anybody out, but I mean that, I feel like I'm being a little bit, what do you call it? Anyway, a lot of Black people they're more open to that, I think. Because they understand how the government works. They don't, a lot of Black people, like lower class Black people, they don't trust the government. Yeah. Because they know how messed up the prison system is. So if you explain it that way.
You explain it that way. Like you come there and talk to them. Like you don't come in like, try to push your beliefs on them, but come on here and see their point on what abortion, how they feel about prison reform, and about, how many people in your family that wrongfully accused. Do you believe in prison reform? Think about this.
Slavery, modern day slavery.
Yeah. So talk to them different way.
And the fact that too, like, understanding how even if you paid your debt to society, it's still hard to get a decent job. So a lot of people have trouble going back into society that actually do want to get right. They do want to do something, and a lot of those people, the kids that get messed up into crime, like they start when they're little. And it also is a brainwashing of like all the rap music they listen to, which is bad because when hip hop started, it was very conscious. It was waking people up. It was starting to red pill people. And they're like, oh no, we got to stop this. So that's when they did the gangster rap. And I didn't believe that until I was teaching. And I saw my kids just soak that stuff up like a sponge. Even the most intelligent kid, I was like, what do you want to do when you grow up? He's like, I want to be a pimp. I was like, what? He was like, what do you think about it? He like had it all laid out, like logically. He was like, well, I get pretty girls. And I can afford a car with a swimming pool in it, and I get lots of money, and it looks very easy. So I'm going to do that. And then I was like, you can go to jail. He's like, jail? Where did he
go? He's like in the Jack. Oh my goodness, get out of the video. What the hell? Oh my goodness.
Anyway, I don't know. That's a plan I thought I'd throw out there.
Yeah. You know what? I think television because oh, you know what? It just reminded me of Uncle Hotep. I know he has a video where he's inside of a barbershop and they're like talking about politics and he has his phone on. But yeah, I think that TV, unfortunately, Black people watch a lot of TV and we apparently watch more TV than anyone else. Like out of
really?
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not surprised. I didn't know that. Yeah.
Yeah, they do. I was like, what? I didn't know that. And I found, and so I really do think that the television media, that's definitely like the way that our community definitely gets influenced the most. I think not just that, but like a significant part of their beliefs seem to come from like the media. And I think that if we somehow can direct us into like a different direction, because it's really like whenever I get in these debates with people, like my family or just people online, they say the same things. Like they had to have gotten it
Soundbites.
Saying, yeah. And I'll say some things and they'll be like, they never heard it before. And I'm like, well, because one of my aunts, I was like, well, she was upset of some of my views, about the shootings and everything. And I started talking about abortion and I was like, well, did you know about the numbers that I just gave about the Black community and abortion? And she was like, no. And I was like, but instead they want to keep focusing on, the issues that the television is talking about, and they just never really heard these issues before. And I think it's the media. We can somehow, I don't know, just give.
Have you seen that movie, They Live? Oh my God, you have to see that movie. I think you could probably find it on YouTube or it might be on Netflix. I don't know if you have. Girl, it's so basically, I guess if I tell you this, have you guys seen it? Has anybody in the chat seen They Live?
They Live.
Oh, thank you, Uber guy. I can afford some like hair oil. He gave me $5. I'm down. Thank you, brother. So anyway, what was I gonna say? Okay, so They Live is it's by Consume. So it's about this guy. I'm trying to sum it up. Hey Prometheus, have you seen They Live?
Nah, I ain't seen it.
You have? Okay. It's a metaphor. It's a good metaphor where we're talking about how people are brainwashed. So this guy who's like homeless and just kind of a vagrant is like traveling around. And could you guys mute your mics because I'm starting to echo.
Oh, sorry. Yeah.
Okay.
All right, let me figure it.
I've been forgetting to do that too. So okay. So anyway, this guy is he's traveling around and he meets this guy and he gets these like sunglasses and he puts these sunglasses on. He looks at all the advertisements and it says buy and consume, right? Like advertisements that look like like regular like models or whatever, like regular advertisements, pictures, posters. And then he puts the shades on and he's able to see the people that are aliens and he's able to see all the advertisements around town that says buy and consume. Well, what is happening is the population is brainwashed through an antenna that is making them kind of be in this state of kind of like hypnosis where they don't see this stuff. And the only way that they can come out of it is if they see these shades. And the only way that the kind of spell or whatever can be broken is if they disrupt that antenna. So I kind of see the TV and the media is what they're doing to the population. So it's a good metaphor. It's an entertaining movie too. It's like an 80s movie, but it's an entertaining movie. I think you'd see it and you'd be like, oh snap, like this is like definitely like totally what's happening.
Oh, yeah. I think I've seen that meme. Like I've seen that like a bunch of times, but I didn't know where it came from. And it was like a guy wearing sunglasses.
Yeah, and it's funny because when I first saw this movie, there's this one scene where he has the shades and he's trying to tell his friend, he has a friend, and he's like, look, you need to put these shades on. And the dude's like, I'm not putting these shades on. And he's like, you better put him on. And he like jumps on him and he tries to put him on his face. And they get into this fight. And the fight is like forever. It's like this really like, it's like 10 minutes. It's like this horrible fight when they're in the alley and they're just beating the crap out of each other. And he's trying to make him see these shades, put these shades on. And when I first saw it, I was like, this is bad directing. Like, this could have been over in like, you know, a minute. But as I became like, I guess more woke or red pill or whatever, I'm like, no, oh my God, this is totally what it's like when you're trying to get people to see the truth. Oh my God, thank you. Oh my God, thank you. Thank you so much. Anyway, sorry. I'm just, Tara. Okay, so anyway, so he's just like, yeah. You know, anyway, that's what it's like. You have to see this movie, you guys. You have to see this movie.
Yeah, I already saw the movie. I just forgot about it, but I know what you're talking about.
You know what I'm talking about, right? But that's what it's like.
Yeah, most definitely. Like when you're trying to like teach people about the truth or whatever, it's kind of like you're trying to put the glasses on them and you're fighting with people because everybody's like, oh, you don't know what you're talking about. And it's like a process of, you know, whatever, like red pilling people. You know, but yeah, that's a really good example about what's going on right now through the media, you know, because it's become pretty obvious how dishonest they are at this point, you know, like and their talking points is like a giant just echo chamber. They all repeat the same crap over and over. So
yeah, I know. It's very disturbing. I don't know that I try and practice gratitude. Did you mute your mic?
Oh, my bad.
It's okay. Yeah, it's really disturbing because I try and, or not disturbing, I also try and be grateful that like I know what I know, because I probably have a different pathway to health if I didn't, or you know what I mean? I'd be in a different state. And it's like when you first start kind of realizing these things, it's very terrifying and it's very painful to know that you were tricked, to know that you trusted these people. Because I used to love Anderson Cooper. Don't tell anybody that. I'm embarrassed.
Oh my gosh, are you serious? I'm gonna
I didn't like have a crush on him, but I liked him. I respected him. I thought he was a reporter.
Yeah.
I stand him. You know, it's like that friend that you have that you're really tight, and then they betray you. You know, and so I think a lot of people, they kind of look to these people and they're like, oh, like this is a respectable person, or I like this person, or I like Whoopi Goldberg from The View, or I used to like her. I used to really like her. It's weird. I didn't like a lot of her acting movies, but I thought I always loved her interviews, and I thought she was really intelligent and very interesting. So I respected her. Like, all that's out the window now. All these people that I used to like and I looked up to. But it's also taught me not to put people on pedestals, which is unhealthy. Even as much as I like Tucker Carlson, you know, I don't put him up on a pedestal. I respect him. But, you know, but then I saw a video where, you know, he was like being a complete dick to like 9/11 truthers. So, you know, I know we don't vibe on the same path the whole way, but as far as the work that he's doing now, I can be like, all right, I respect that. But if he does something I don't agree with, I need to learn, you know, how to separate myself. But I also think people just cling to celebrities, you know, and live vicariously through them. It's become very unhealthy. And you think about people are so, because they watch TV too, they're so into other people's lives that they're not even concentrating on their own, right? You know, you go to the store and you see, you know, all the gossip and the scandal magazines, and you're into that, but you're not thinking about your own issues that you have. I love Don Lemon. You did? Somebody said they love Don Lemon. You know?
Yeah.
Thank you, Linda T. Huh?
I was going to say,
I
agree with you. You know, it's a problem that, you know, not only that people are like kind of living vicariously through these celebrities or whatever, but, you know, people they tend to have a bad habit of trusting the worst ones. You know, they're so quick to trust the worst ones, but then, you know, there's decent people out there and they're doing all these good things, and they're the ones that are constantly looked at with an air of suspicion. You know, so I mean, it's just people's perceptions are completely ass backwards. you know, and it's a problem, you know. But that's the reason why Trump is so important at this time in American history. You know, he kind of exposed all the biases, and he exposed the media, you know, for the games that they play.
Definitely. And I think to me, it's like, what am I trying to say? It's bigger than Trump to me, because I just think that, especially since a lot of people weren't expecting him to win, including me, you know, but now I've seen like all of the poison that's been revealed, all of the, you know, it's forcing people to become aware of a lot of stuff that's going on, not only in this country, but on this planet. So it's a way bigger thing, you know, than just one person, right? And I don't think it's healthy to put all of our hope into him too, because knock on wood, you know, if something were to happen to him, then what are we going to do? We just have to be aware of the fact that, you know, this election, his winning this election, has sparked something bigger, that's bigger than him, that's bigger than all of us.
Yes, it seems like since Trump won the election, evil spirits have jumped in on a lot of people. Evil spirits jump in, and they don't even know why they hate Trump. It's like that spirit; they don't even know why. You ever talk to them and why you don't like Trump? It's because he read. The same program stuff. It's like a spirit jumped into them. It's the different spirits jumped in each other, and they say, "Oh, I don't know. Did you vote? No. But I don't. You're like, I don't like him. I don't." Listen to all of them. You go Google up all the protests, look at them all on YouTube. They all say the same, and you notice that we say different stuff. We say different stuff, and they just say the same old. They are programmed zombies. I'm telling you, a day after the election, it's a bunch of evil spirits jumped off on everybody. But in them, I mean, they all said the same thing and could not give an answer, because look, 7 years ago, you didn't see them Democrats talking like that. You didn't see that. It was a lot of them did have conservative values, leftists, especially the black community. And
well, I think that you're right about that, but I also think that in order for you to be possessed, so to speak, you have to invite something in. So if you have pride, if you have, you know, certain things that you're not dealing with, you're going to be easier to possess, if that makes sense. So a lot of people, like what we were talking about earlier, about like having to admit that you're wrong about something. If you're not dealing with your trauma, then you're going to be easily manipulated, whether you want to say it's like demonic possession, whether you want to say it's manipulation or brainwashing. If you're not dealing with that, that's how you can be easily, you know, controlled. And it's interesting because I don't know if you guys, you probably know Prometheus. Well, I don't know, I'm assuming, but about the MK Ultra. Do you guys know about that? The MK Ultra? Right. So when they the mind control slaves. So when they were doing this, the Americans brought the Nazi scientists over for Operation Paperclip. They were doing lots of experiments, but one of the main things they were interested in was the mind control. And what they would do, they would take somebody and they would traumatize them physically, sexually, rape them, beat them, torture them, whatever, until their personality split. So long story short, they would induce PTSD in them. And then once they were able to do that, then they can program different personalities into that individual. So I'm kind of looking at what's happening to the country on that level, where people are traumatized. They're being put on drugs. They're being put on these different hormones. They're being put on, antidepressants, SSRI drugs and stuff. All that stuff, in addition to your own personal trauma that you haven't resolved, makes you susceptible to that. But Mo, I want to say, when I interviewed you that time, I thought it was an amazing interview. And you were talking about how you had to come to terms with you being in a gang. And then you also, you dealt with that. I'm sure I don't know what's going on in your head. I'm not saying that everything's fully resolved, but you actually, you had the strength and the fortitude to be like, look, I made a mistake. I need to get out of this. I need to change my life and do something better, you know? And then even on top of that, when you're weight loss, so there are people that aren't even dealing with stuff like that. You know what I mean? It makes them more susceptible because they're in denial. And if you're in denial, you're easily controlled. I think I ranted, but I hope that made sense.
Yeah. Easy controlled. And I just sad to wake up one day, you know, like now I look back at it, like, it's like that. I feel that wasn't even me. It's like, what was I? But it helped me out a lot. now I get to plant seeds, and by me streets, it taught me boldness. It taught me how to be no filter. It taught me more compassionate. You know, believe it or not, it taught me common sense. You know, but you learn. It's called learning from what you've been through. You learn from no matter, like when you get bad from it, and you go and help the next person. And, I'm all over the place.
Yeah. Okay, that's awesome, Mo. I didn't know you were in a gang. That's crazy.
Oh, I was locked up 17 times.
What?
For armed robbery, murder, and I would stick a person up in a heartbeat, robbing and stuff. You know, see them there get drunk, and seriously. And there was a time I was facing 6 to 30 years. It's like I didn't care. I was, you know what? I wasn't just a gang member. I was a gang banger. I was like I was probably the craziest dude in the neighborhood. You know, I was supposed to be dead. You know, every time I got locked up, my mother was like, "Thank the Lord," because she's afraid somebody was going to kill me out there. And yeah.
Wow. You know what? That's awesome that you have a story like that. I think that more people. I think that this is people like you is a way that a lot of Black people can kind of see what's been going on, because they're so used to like the conservatives looking just like an old white man. That's like the picture they've been given. But to see someone like you like overcome everything and look at what you're doing now, you know, you're everywhere. So that's awesome. I think that's really inspiring. That's cool.
Who is for Trump?
Awesome. I hope more people become conservatives, more Black people.
Well, if you look at, you guys should check out the interview I did. I interviewed did I interview you, Prometheus? Yes, right?
You interviewed everybody.
Yeah, okay. But the interview we're talking about, Blacker Than Thou, where I interviewed Mo just one-on-one. You guys should check that out if you want to. I won't make him go into his story. It was traumatic and stuff. I don't want to, but you know, you should check it out and see what we're talking about. But yeah. And I think that, like, you know, you're important in that sense that you can reach other people that I can't. Like, I can be like, hey kids, don't join a gang and don't do drugs, and I'll be right, but they're gonna be like, and so what? Like, they need to see somebody that did that, and that's where they were, and they need to know that there's something on the other side where they can get out of that, you know.
Mm-hmm.
I can't do that. I can't do that. People won't take me seriously, you know.
You know what? I honestly think it's people like, you know, like his story, and even people like you, Truther, because for you, I feel like you're like you're like in the truth movement, and you do the vaccines, you call out the elites and things like that. And I feel like people, and then with you, with your background, Mo, Prometheus, I'm not sure what your background is, but I think that people like us are like, also me being disabled, people like this is gonna, I think is how the Black community is gonna change. Like regular people with stories like ours, that's just, yeah, I think that we are the people that's gonna change it. Not, you know, yeah, because they want to see people like themselves, you know, they don't want to keep seeing, you know, the people who usually represent like the conservative party, people with money, you know, or whatever, even Black people that look, you know, really put together and stuff, you know, like I don't look put together in person. I have a limp and everything. So, you know, it's just, I have you know, we all have stories it doesn't line up with what the white conservative, you know, what they say that, you know, a conservative is supposed to be. I think it's us that's going to change it. And like even Uber guy, you know, he's just a regular Black dude. He has passion for prison reform, you know, and so, yeah, I think more people like us can just kind of stand up and make channels, start channels, do live streams, all that stuff.
We're gonna get some white people in here. Somebody wrote me, they were like, you need to have more white people. And I was like, I know. But I think we just all kind of gravitated since I started doing that series. And then, when I was doing the podcast, we did 109 episodes of those, and it was mostly white people. But so now it's kind of switched a little bit. But Tony Patriot said he wants to join, so I told him to message me, and we'll try and get him on the next one.
You should get Grindall. Do you know him, right? Don't you talk to him?
No, I don't. I use a lot of his stuff though. I hope he's not mad at me. I always make it so I never cover his stuff.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I thought you knew him, because I was like, he's awesome. If you know him, bring him on.
I know. Okay, you want to see? I'll see if I can get in touch with him. Yeah. And see if we can do Grindall or Grandall. I don't even know. I think Conservative Mexican knows him, and they were all busy. Zach got held up. Uber guy couldn't make it, and Kayla had a meeting. It was kind of last minute anyway, so I wasn't expecting everybody to make it up. You're friends with Mike. Mike couldn't make it. He has friends in town, so definitely. Yeah, so Grindall. Yeah, I would like to get him, and I reached out to what's his face? Randall K. Taylor. I reached out to him, but I think he's just really busy, or he just doesn't want to be interviewed. So there's some people that don't want to be interviewed, which I have to respect. So, but I reached out to him, and wasn't able, but after a few times I was like, oh, I don't want to seem like a stalker. Sometimes I will wear people down, but I just haven't. I've just been so busy. I haven't even had the energy to stay on top of people like I usually do.
Do you know, because I've communicated with a few other YouTubers here and there, but it seems like a lot more people. Do you know just other white people that we could invite?
I think April, the founder, she's my best friend. She's white. She might be able to come on. She hasn't really been following the politics stuff though as much. I was gonna have my friend Elizabeth on. I wanted to talk with her more. She's a dating coach, and she's really good with the male-female relationships and stuff. But like I said, since I've been working, it's been so hard. That's one of the reasons my strike is off. And then I didn't really take advantage of YouTubers until like last year. I've been up since 2011. I just haven't really. It's okay to ask white folks. Yeah, Jake Tapper's white. Nah. Yeah, Terry Jordan's like, okay. So we can do Tony Patriot, Grindall. There's another girl. I wanted to invite her, and I forgot her name. She's white. Her name is like Speak the Truth. I forgot her name. Anyway, so yeah, we can work on that. We're going to get some more white people.
Okay. Yeah. So yeah, someone on my page, they're like,
press 1 if you're white. Somebody put press 1 if you're white.
Yeah, I'm down for more white people.
Get Ashton Birdie on here.
Huh?
Get Ashton Birdie.
Oh, shut up, dude. I can't stand her. No, I can't talk about it that way. I had a personal experience, but I can't talk about it. I'm not gonna. I don't want to get into drama. I don't want people to be like, oh, like it's already bad enough. I don't like Candace, so people are always like asking me about that. So.
What's up with Candace? Damn.
Huh?
I said, what the hell's up with Candace? Like.
So no, I was just saying people are always asking me. They're like, you should join Voices with her, and I'm like, no, dude, you don't even know. I'm good, So, but yeah, shut up. Anything else? Okay, so let's move to the next one. I really want to wrap up by 8. I always say I'm gonna wrap up and then I end up going longer. But, pause your, Prometheus, pause your mic. Last thing I guess we can talk about is somebody actually sent me a video the other day showing that they're gonna start. YouTube is gonna stop recommending conspiracy videos. Have you guys seen that?
Yes.
And
yes, I started with 3 times. I watched it. Like, I've seen it coming.
They're gonna stop. So I wanted to also mention that I'm on BitChute, right? I think there's some people that comment and stuff. It's right now. It's too overwhelming for me to keep up with all the social media. But I would suggest that you guys at least start a BitChute account. And anybody else that's in the chat that's growing their channel, you should start at least a BitChute account. And BitChute has this feature where there's like a code or something you can put in, and every time you upload to YouTube, it would automatically upload to BitChute. So you won't even have to worry about it, right? Make sure you have copies of all your videos, and make sure you are uploading to, if you're at least BitChute, right? Try and get on other social media stuff. But I think BitChute's really easy just because it's not that much maintenance, right? And you can start building your audience that way, because who knows, the way that they're doing these channels, who knows when they're going to go down. I'm sorry, Mo, you want?
Yep, can you hear me? It's another outlook too. I don't know if y'all heard of this, and Infinity Social Network. It has the same type of stuff as Facebook has live. Everybody check out Infinity. I know the people at Purse, Jeremy Harrell, they've been working on it for 2 years, and you can go live on there, but people I'm being honest with you, people too comfortable on Facebook and too comfortable on Twitter, and it's no censorship over there, and it has great content over there. I mean, great features on there. And it's great. Y'all got to see what I'm talking about, but we need to get more people over there,
What's it called again? Infinity?
Infinity Social Network.
Oh, okay.
Infinity Social Network. It's a good platform, and
cool.
Well, I think right now the problem is, YouTube is still just very big, and most of the people on the planet are on YouTube and Facebook and all those stuff. Yes, there's Mind, Steam It, and DTube. I said BitChute because it's just easier. If you're already on YouTube, you'll just automatically, you're killing 2 birds with 1 stone. If you can do the BitChute YouTube hookup. Unless other social media outlets have that feature too, please somebody let me know.
Wait. So if you can do that, and then does that mean that they're basically the same company? Is it kind of like Facebook and Instagram? Because no, it's just they can just do that for some reason.
Yeah, I think there's a code that you insert, so it makes a copy and it uploads it up to.
Okay, but I was just wondering, are they gonna start censoring people too? Is it basically gonna find out it's the same company?
I hope not. And as far as I know, they're not. But yeah. I'm just trying to make it easy for you, because I just know that it's very it's very overwhelming. Just trying to if you're running a channel, like YouTube is enough for me, and I'm I still, April posts stuff on Facebook sometimes. I post stuff. But right now, it's just good to have a foothold in all of them, just in case we have to move somewhere. That's where we'll be, because we don't know when they can just shut our channels off, or when they're, when they're cutting us off. So, I already 2 weeks ago, I didn't upload anything for a week, and I woke up and YouTube just stole 100 of my subscribers. It was 130. It was 130, just gone like that. And I was just I know I didn't put any offensive videos up. I know I didn't do anything, so I know it was, no, it was just, I'm back to where I almost was, but I had 17,600 and something subscribers. And I woke up and it was 500 almost almost like 400 and like 94 or something like that. So they just like and then I went to Social Blade, and it said one day, the day before, minus 99 subscribers. But I was just like, I understand if I put a video up and I offend somebody, but I know that like I didn't even put a video up for like almost a week.
Yeah.
Yeah, early YouTube was great before it was bought and sold to represent the established powers. Yeah, for sure. But that's how that usually works, right? Somebody makes a great invention and then it's infiltrated by the evil elite, you know? So Social Blade Live. I don't know.
Did you lose subscribers?
Yeah, they say 4,000 subscribers. I would have had about at least 15,000. 14,000.
They took 4 in one day?
In one day. Yeah, he was unstuck on both of my channels. And they took away 4,000. And then you know how you can edit your YouTube? It says that I have like 14,000 subscribers. It says that. But I got 10,000. But I would have had way more than that. They want an average of 7 subscribers a day. A day.
Hey, y'all.
Every time I upload a video, I lose subscribers.
Hold on real quick, Mo. All right, y'all. Hey, I'm gonna take off. I got something I gotta go take care of. I got some drums I want to test out. So, but hey, thanks for letting me interview with you.
You got drugs? Is that what you said?
No, drums, drum set.
I'm just kidding.
But thanks for inviting me on the chat, and we got to keep doing this. I mean, this is a real good idea, and just everybody do their own separate little thing, and we should just continue to meet up like every 2 weeks, every month, or whatever. Truth or Talk, American Curls. We could talk later about taking our trip down and everything. Y'all just text me. But thanks for watching, all y'all. Y'all have a good night.
Okay, cool.
You too.
Okay, bye-bye.
See ya.
Bye. Nice haircut.
Thank you.
Hello. Okay, so we're actually could you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, we were thinking about driving down to Mexico to the border and trying to get some interviews and stuff. So we want to do that within the next month or so. So, we didn't talk about the wall. We didn't talk about the wall. So what are your thoughts on what's going on about the wall? Mo, she seems so...
I believe the wall is going to happen when I see it.
Yeah, me too. But I think this is our last chance to see if we can, if we're going to get something by the 15th.
What happens on the 15th?
Well, if they don't come to a conclusion or a deal, then he's either going to reshut down the government or either like going to use it. Or no, I don't think he's going to reshut down the government. I think that he's going to use executive powers to declare national emergency.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And what will that do?
They can just build a wall because it's a national emergency.
Oh, really? You think that's gonna work? Wow.
Well, I knew that. Yeah, it's an executive order, so he can declare it a national emergency. I think, or I would like to think that he's just trying to be like, look, try every avenue to be like, look, I worked with the Democrats. I tried everything their way, and they didn't. They didn't work. Because I know if he does that, then those assholes are going to be like, he's a dictator. He's like Hitler.
Yeah.
So I think he's going to try. He's trying. I think he's trying. He's basically, this is what I like to think, that he's trying every avenue that he can to make a deal to get it built before, before he does that.
Yeah.
Somebody, Anarchapulco, Yeah, I'm gonna try and go next year. I wanted to go this year. Complier. I know Max Egan. He's a friend of mine. I know Benny Wills from Joy Camp. They're actually speaking there, and I really want to go and hang out with them. But finances, so I'm definitely just gonna make a goal and just try and go next year. So anyway, sorry, I'm just reading the chat. So yeah, so Mo, are you like are you pessimistic about the wall being built? You're just like,
I just like, all the stuff happening is like, I'm starting to lose, not the lose faith. I'm starting to walk by sight now. You know what I'm saying? I was like, it's going to now kind of like, you know what? I believe it when I see it. I believe, part of me believe the wall going to come, but I want a wall. They're just like when people say, is Hillary going to prison?
I'll believe that when I see it. Yeah, totally. Yeah. I still believe a wall is more possible than Hillary going to prison. But we'll see.
Yeah.
I don't see why the wall shouldn't be built, because the wall wasn't even Trump became president.
Huh? We say that again?
It wasn't even a problem until the wall wasn't even a problem until Trump became president.
I know, that's the thing, right? You have all those people that are, what am I trying to say? You have all those people that are they were saying that they want a wall and border security. Thank you. Somebody just did a chat. Thank you. Yeah, but now that he's president, it's so annoying. I'm like, that's why I also like I have to take breaks. Like Prometheus has drums. Go and do, what's it gonna say? Do something that you like. Like, what do you like to do outside of politics, Mo?
What do I love? Man, I just love.
Do you have a hobby?
Yes, I love actually talking to. I love talking to the hood. Before I hopped on the Trump train, I was always talking to gang members. Said back in our days, little kids, we shot. We target the gangs. We had principal. I would go down there and talk crazy. Literally do that on my own free time. I know, and I still do it. This is before, and so this is my passion. Regardless, I'm going to always be in the streets talking to the thugs, to the killers. I'm about to go in sometime this summer with my friend Rita and talk to the Crips, talk to the Bloods, because she's a former Blood agent, and that's my passion. And
are you a Blood? Were you a Blood?
A gangster disciple in Chicago. That's the blue side.
So were you more of a were you a Blood or a Crip, or were you something else?
No. It was different. In Chicago, we had different gangs: Vice Lords, Black Stones, and Gangster Disciples. And I was the Gangster Disciple. As a Gangster Disciple, I still got the tattoo right here. I still got a tattoo on my chest. I'm still tatted on there, and I was one of the gang leaders out there, and I was banging hard. So I just want to talk to any gang member, whether you Crip, but I want to go down there and talk to them tell them what went on in the Chicago gang. When I even been talking with former rival gangs that's my age.
Oh wow!
Bang against each other, and then we kind of laugh about it, So that passion right there, the street, the hoods, because we can save this younger generation. We can save babies, and that's my passion, to save the babies.
Yeah, because you have grandkids, so like to me and for you, I know. I mean, it's important for me too, but I can just imagine when you have kids or grandkids, like it's even more important. It even hits more of a chord with you. What are your thoughts on the wall, American Curls?
I think we desperately need a wall, and I know that a lot of people are focusing on the immigration issue, which is huge. And I think that the reason Trump is so passionate about this is because it's big. It's much bigger than this, than just the immigration. It goes far deeper. Yeah. And I know that, I know people who were conservatives, and they are saying, is wrong for Trump to do that because, you know, people are going to miss their paycheck, you know, and he should come up with something else so they don't lose their paycheck. And I was like, you know, it's unfortunate that people aren't going to be paid, but this is huge.
It's unfortunate. It's unfortunate that they're blaming Trump and not Pelosi and Schumer.
Right. Yeah. Because they have it in their hands. But when you look into like the deeper reasons for why people, like, I know I hate to sound like a crazy conspiracy theorist because I'm a sane conspiracy theorist.
Hey, you're on Truth Talk. It's okay.
Yeah.
It's Truth Talk channel.
I know. I think it's just a plan basically to destabilize America and to eventually bring in, like, you know, make everything like a one world, one nation, like New World Order type thing. And that's how they can destroy you. Once they destabilize America, it's over, you know, like, and that's just the way, like, first, like, if you look into like communism, which I'm sure we've all probably looked into it since we look into truth or stuff. But when the spread of communism, in order to first spread it, they had to demoralize the country, which, you know, bring in just a bunch of degenerate behavior and just keep promoting this, you know, free sex, free whatever, you know. And then after they do that, they would like destabilize the country and have people fighting each other. And once they do that, they are able to like come in and kind of, you know, be like a dictator and kind of take over, you know, whoever
No, it's true. It's the Hegelian dialectic, the problem, reaction, solution, right? Kind of deal. Yeah, but it's true. It's true. And I mean, if you looked at how this is why the other countries are destabilized. As we speak, I have a friend who's a little older, but she's from Panama and she lives in Texas. We should hang out with her, AC. Like, anyway, we'll talk later. But she's from Panama. And she would say, I'm looking for my map I moved it over there. She would drive from like America to Panama, her mom. They could drive there. It was safe enough at that time to like drive from America all the way through Mexico, through Central America to Panama. And now you can't do that.
Yeah.
So all these countries, they weren't destabilized at one point.
Right.
And now, you know, but yeah, that's what they're trying to do here. We have some areas that are destabilizing the United States. So they're trying to do that to the whole country.
Yeah.
And once that's done, you know, and then you have all these people that are brainwashed to think that, you know, this place is Aztlan land. I mean, it was, but they lost, so they can't have it back without a fight.
Yeah.
they're not just gonna take it. You know what I mean? That's not my problem. Like I didn't do that. You know what's funny too is all these people that are like talking about, you know, America, like the white man in English is the white man's language. I'm like, Spanish is a white man's language.
Yeah.
Like Spanish is a European language. You're part white. Like, what are you talking about? You're like, you know what I mean? Like your people killed the natives. Like, don't even play that stuff. You've done the same thing. You know?
Yeah. Yeah. I definitely think, like, I mean, a few people, like, well, not a few people, but, you know, people missing their paychecks, that's so small because, I mean, when you think about like the Bolshevik War, you know, and you think about like all the people that communism killed, like that was basically what they're doing to us right now is how they were able to do those things. You know, it's just, and to say that, like, you know, we're a country of multiculturalism, or, you know, we're whatever they say about, like, you know, that's our strength, you know, multiculturalism. Yeah, you know, fine, there's different people here, but some of us were kind of forced to be here anyways. But since we're here, we still have to have a tie to bind us, you know. We still have to be American. Like, you cannot just put a Muslim in office just because, we just need different cultures, you know. That doesn't make sense. Like, I mean, and I think that they've gave this mindset, you know, that through the TV, I feel like they promoted this, that, you know, the right thing to do is to love everyone and love everyone of every culture and every nation. And, you know, like God loves everyone. Okay, well, you know, that's ludicrous because they still, even in the Bible, they still had walls. They still have barriers. Like, the things that make us, you know, that makes us unique is because of like our cultures. Like, I feel like we can, like, I don't think we should all try to blend together, you know, like I think it's fine if there's like, you know, different cultures. We don't, because I mean, like, what if you like went to Italy and like everyone in Italy was the same people that were here? You know, it wouldn't be as fun, you know.
Yeah,
like I don't want to blur the lines. And
yeah,
you
no,
know,
totally.
mm-hmm.
I think people mix. I think people mix up like Arabs and Muslims together, right? Like they're like
Yeah.
Arab is more of like the race or the ethnic group, and then Muslim is religion. So you can be an Arab, you can be an Arab person and be an American, but you still have to abide by our values.
Yeah.
You can be a Muslim and abide by our values. But the radical Muslims, like they clash.
Yeah.
Because we have different ways of looking at things and different beliefs. If you're that radical Muslim that believes in female circumcision, and if you believe in enslavement of women, and if you believe in pedophilia and interbreeding, like that's not cool, that's not American, then you need to go back to your country and work all that out. And nobody's stopping them from doing that. They just can't do that here because this is not what our culture is. So that's the thing, I mean, because you can live in a country and have different ethnic groups and different races, but you still have to have a common culture and you have to have common respect for each other. And a lot of these people here that they're not even immigrating here. They're not even trying to learn the language. I'm watching Celia, which is like Celia Cruz. It's she was a Cuban singer in the 50s. I'm watching it on Netflix. And like the first maybe 40 episodes is cool. It's like singing and dancing and stuff. But now the Cuban Revolution is happening. And they're just taking people that have earned their money out of their houses and just kicking them out on the street. And being like, oh, you need to split up your funds with people that are homeless. And it's interesting because there's some people that are like they're like, oh yeah, viva la revolucion, and it's great because people are going to be equal. It's kind of like how it is now until it affects them personally. And now some of the people that were like that before, that were like, oh, viva la revolucion, like, oh, like Cuba's gonna be equal and stuff. Now they're like, but when they got kicked out of their house, and now they're feeling it, they're like, oh wait,
Yeah. Yeah, that's like one school in New York, I guess. They decided to start busing like a bunch of like, poor kids to like this really nice high school, like where like a bunch of really wealthy people went, and they're all mad. And they were like, they had like a PTA meeting or whatever, and they were all like yelling, and they were so upset. And I was like,
do you have that? Because I was looking for that. You're the one that told me about that.
Oh yeah.
Did you send that to me?
Yeah. I'm gonna find it. Yeah.
I know you have to send it now. Don't send it now. Send it later.
Okay.
We got 20 minutes. We got 20 minutes. Somebody asked, Mo, did you want to add anything? You're on mute.
There we go. Oh, you got 20 minutes. Okay. I'm just all over this. People in this. I was telling some coworkers that that this movement that we're very diverse. If you look at this, a lot of Trump supporters, a lot of people in this movement, former Democrats, first-time voters, second-time voter, and got Muslims in this movement, got gays in this movement, got transgender in this movement. Talk about that. They don't want to talk about how diverse we are. A bunch of white supremacists, what I'm saying, a bunch of KKKs, but we are very, very diverse. Look at us, man. I'm just like, wow, because you got a lot of police came out the closet. I mean, we gotta start. That's why we gotta be that voice, and that way other people that's not out the closet, right? That's right. They'll hide because they scared that their family is back on their friends. We need to encourage them that you got to be bold. Maybe if people see them stand out, and wake up. If they see more people stand out, people like us saying that, and believe not, people are listening to us. Like people are looking at our channels and like, wow, you know, and that's encouraging. Like you got people in the chat room and they seeing this, you know, it's not even in blacks, it's influencing whites, Asian, Hispanics, everybody. Influence, just let people know that we not a hate group, you know, and I'm just like, wow, you know, we need to come. I'm just saying, people need to come out. People need to come out the closet better. They need to come out. You know, I see a lot of black people. The black people come to me like, hey man, I'm starting to wake up. Say something then. You know, we got to encourage them to go ahead and be that voice. That you is somebody. And people that I met in this movement, you know, I'm telling you, a lot of them are former Democrats, or first voters, second-time voters, and you know, feel like they belong to something now. Belong to this supporting Trump. This ain't even about supporting Trump. This is a movement. You know, this is the movement to slow down the world government, to slow it down, because the one world government eventually is going to happen. But I believe God allowed Trump to come in here to slow it down, to bring, you know what I'm saying, to make America, to keep America great, to bring morals back to this country, to bring love back to this country.
Well, I mean, like, why do you think it's going to happen? I'm sorry. Why do you think it's going to happen then? What are we fighting for?
What are we fighting for?
Yeah.
We're fighting for our freedom. We're fighting to get prepared,
But you're saying the one world government eventually is going to happen. What if it doesn't happen and we stop it instead of slowing it down? Why do you think it's going to happen?
See, I'm a strong believer in the Bible. And I believe that, you know, I see signs and stuff. I just believe it's going to happen.
Well, do you think that, I kind of think that, because I have a friend who's very, she's very religious too. And she was talking about that too, but she believes, you know, her interpretation of this happening is that we're at a precipice where it can happen. So we have to stop it from happening, but not give in to the fact that it's going to happen. Because if we do, then what are we fighting for, right? Yeah. I think we're at a place in humanity and time where we can stop it. And you know, we've been lied to and tricked to. It hasn't just been since this election; it's been for centuries. So we can turn things around. And you know, there are a lot of good things happening. There are a lot of bad things happening. You know, I can't say it's all good. I can't say it's all bad either, though. We're at this point where I'm of the, and I try and stay in the mindset, and I know, like, I'm not a cockeyed optimist, because it does get pessimistic, it does get depressing and frustrating, but I feel like I still have to keep myself in the mindset that we can stop it, because if not, then why don't we just let it happen, you know?
Yeah, I totally agree. I think that, you know, a lot of people will say, like, you know, I'm not going to vote because they're corrupt on both sides. It doesn't matter if we vote, you know, like either way, you know, it's, you know, we're all being controlled and it's the end of the world. We're all going to die, you know? And I agree. I think that, I mean, we can at least slow it down. And now I do think that at some point, you know, like probably, you know, Antichrist time comes, you know, they are going to succeed. But when you think about it, when you read what it says in Revelations, it's only going to be like 7 years, you know, like it's not going to be long, you know.
7 years of like hell?
Well, no, I'm saying like I don't know how long it's going to be exactly, but
I can't take 7 years of this stuff.
No. I don't think it's going to be like, I'm just saying at most, because I don't know what it's going to be, but it's only going to be like a few years. And when you think about it,
right. So a few years of it getting worse, or a few years of what's going on right now until it gets better. Like, what is your interpretation of that?
Oh, I'm just talking about during the time where like the Antichrist is supposed to come. Like, I'm not talking about like this kind. Like, I think things can get better now. You know, I don't think it has to be, you know, I don't think it's like we're all just going downhill from here, you know? Like, I think it's waves, you know, like there's times where things, because I mean, back during communism, when 100 million people were being slaughtered, it probably looked like the end of the world at that point.
Yeah, totally.
But it wasn't, you know, things did get better. And it's like, and so I think it's kind of like waves, you know, look at Poland right now. Poland, like you can't even get, like they're against abortion. They're kicked out all the Muslims, like the, you know, like the bad Muslims, you know, and they're so proud of their country. And you know, it's going up for them. And so I don't think it's just all just bad, like downhill.
Yeah.
And so, but I was just talking about like whenever the Antichrist comes, which is like, you know, that's only going to be for a few years. That's not happening. Yeah. But in the end, this is a battle between good and evil, no matter what. Like that's what's happening. And in the end, like when you think about the Tower of Babel, that's basically what they had at that moment was a one world government, like a one world like thing going on. They had one race living together. Basically, they were different races, but they were all living as one. They had one language and they had one goal, you know, was to build that building. And God told them not to. He kept saying to stop, and they wouldn't stop. And he had to change the languages, and he had to stop what they were doing because what they were doing wasn't right. And I think ever since then, it's like the elites and everything are trying to do it again. Basically, that's what I feel like. They're trying to gather us back up again because, you know, so, I guess.
I'm just curious because I'm going to be devil's advocate. Why is having one common language bad, or why was that bad in the Bible? Like, why was that like a bad thing? I'm curious.
Yeah, I get what you mean. Yeah, because it doesn't seem like it's that bad. But when they were building the tower, Nimrod was like the one that was kind of in control of all of this, and he was really evil. I mean, I got some of the stuff out of the Book of Enoch, but I mean, the Bible pretty much backs it up. But yeah, he was angry because of the flood. So he was angry about God because he, you know, wiped everyone out. He's hostile about the flood, and so he decided to build this tower to get to heaven. Basically, like he wanted to like get back up there. I have no idea why he thought he could do that, but according to the Bible,
I'm sorry, because I don't know. Was he like a demon or something, or he was a fallen angel?
He wasn't, but I think he was getting help. He was definitely getting help because the fallen angels, they left information behind. You know, like they scratched up stuff, you know, and, you know, carved it in stone. And so they left information. And so he was able, he did something to change himself, which is what I think he did something to himself. He wasn't like one of the giants, like the Nephilim, you know, he wasn't one of them, but he did do something to himself. Like he was in, and it wasn't, you know, maybe it was like what they were doing, talking about transhumanism or something, you know, I don't know what he did, but he did something to himself. And so he was really evil, doing crazy things. And for some reason, he thought he could get up there, and he got everyone on board with him. And the Bible said that, you know, if they keep doing this, like anything that like evil in their mind that they planned to do, they'll be able to do it. And so, you know, he had to separate them because they were evil. Like they weren't trying to do it for good, you know, why, I don't know why he, you know, he would think he could get up there, you know, but I think it's the same mentality going on now, you know, like they think they can, you know, mess with genetics and so that we can live forever, you know, like they're going to try, like they're going to. And so when you have like a dictatorship like that and you get everyone together to do evil together, and then you can do like all kinds of bad, like, you know, like your power is in.
I mean, but that can go either way, whether good or bad, right? If you have your collective energies focused on something, like what we're trying to do, we're trying to, like, you know, inform more people, help wake more people up. Or or I would like to think of it as give people information so they can wake up themselves. You can't really wake somebody up. You just give them information that they're being prevented from getting, you know? But yeah.
And that's why I think it goes in waves, you know, like it's like a bunch of bad people, they have all the control at one point, and then it switches, you know, and then it's like a lot of good people have control. And so right now it seems to be, you know, a shift, and it seems like people are waking up and people are, you know, they want to go back to what America, like what you would imagine America was founded on, you know, families and, you know, just being proud to be American and, you know, eating good, you know, good education, like not that crappy public school stuff. I mean, like legitimate, like actually teaching your kids, you know, like a well-rounded education, like how to even cook and plant and like, you know, how to create things with their hands, you know. We want to get back to that, you know.
Yeah, totally, because I mean, the way that they're using our resources and technology, I don't think it's going to last forever. You know. So I mean, and plus, like, you know, electricity goes down, you can't eat your computer. Like, you know what I mean? Like when you're gonna eat your iPhone, you can't do that. Like, how are you gonna survive? You know?
Yeah.
So you can't, or you can't always, if you don't know how to read a book, you're just looking stuff up on the internet. You know how to read. Like, how do you, you know, typing stuff in the YouTube? How do you, or looking at pictures? You know, you're not. Anyway, it makes you less self-sufficient, which is bad. A lot of people aren't really self-sufficient with like the most basic things, which is crazy. You know.
Yeah, we're not.
Yeah, I'm trying to learn how to do as much stuff as I can outside of like technology as I can. But we're so dependent on it. It's kind of creepy, you know, that if it's taken away from us, you know, rapidly, then chaos will, you know, break out. So
yeah.
All right, 9 minutes. Anybody want to wrap up anything? Somebody asked, sorry, I anybody want to say something? And then I want to address something somebody's in the chat. Somebody said if we covered their journalists that got canned or fired, Huffington Post journalists. Again, I'm late on all this stuff, so I'm gonna have to look it up. But I haven't watched them, but I bookmarked a few videos talking about some of the journalists have been fired because I guess the news media is doing so bad. The mainstream news media, right? Anybody know anything about that? No? Yes?
I don't know anything.
No? So yeah, I mean, what do you think? We were I asked you about this the other day. What do you think about Sandy Hook? Did you ever look into that, Mo?
No.
No.
Nope.
Are you scared? You scared to bring it up? They might like come after you. Not talk about it. You're like, no. I think there are a lot of holes in the story. I was talking to somebody. I don't think that I'm not going to say that nothing happened and nobody died, but I think that, you know, there are definitely a lot of holes in the story. If anybody in the chat, I'm going to probably ask this in some videos too, can find this interview that I'm looking for. I haven't been able to find it, but it was right after Sandy Hook. And I mean, right after it happened, and they interviewed the boy's mom, a friend of the boy's mom, and they were talking to her, to the boys, to the guy that was her friend, and asking about, you know, the son and the guns and all this stuff. One red flag for me with Sandy Hook was the fact that I used to work with autistic children, and I saw this interview. And the person in the interview was saying that he was a low level, kind of like he needed a lot of help with everything. She had guns, but, you know, he didn't really think that he was efficient at guns, at using guns. And what I know working with autistic kids is that they have really bad motor skills at that level that they talked about. And for me, I just thought it would be impossible that he would do something like that. And I think it would have been easy for them to kill him and his mom so his mom couldn't speak out on anything and just use him as a patsy. And I also remember when it happened, they were chasing a suspect through the woods and they thought it was another person. They said there was more than one person, but now they changed the official story. It said it was just this little boy that went in and shot up kids. And they had security cameras installed, supposedly, but they never showed us any footage, you know? And I have friends that did more research into it that know more things, but I'm just like, those 3 things alone is enough for me not to believe the official story. Now, people could have died and somebody, you know, that I'm not saying that didn't happen, but just those 3 things alone were just fishy to me. And knowing how they deal with the Florida shootings and with 9/11 and a lot of other big stories, that they never really tell us the whole truth. And now, you know, they try and gaslight people that question the mainstream media, but they always lie to us. They're always lying. Always. So why should we believe them?
Right.
Yeah. You know? I mean, we might find out the earth is actually flat, you know, they didn't lie so much about stuff.
Somebody asked me that the other day, that like, cause when I did my, got my strike off, I was like, I'm free. I'm gonna do a live stream. And then they were like, somebody's like, oh, what do you think of flat earth? And I was like, honestly, I don't know. I haven't gone down that rabbit hole. At this point, I don't really feel that it's really worth it for me to go down. I don't know what it's going to prove. Government lies, which they always do, which I know that already. But who knows? I don't have a spaceship. Who knows?
I know, right? Yeah. I mean, we already know NASA lies.
We know. So they don't tell us everything. So who knows? The stuff that I believe now, I really try not to judge people that has some theories that may sound far-fetched because I don't know, and I never thought I'd believe the stuff I believe now. And I know how people treat me because of it. So I just have to be like, I don't really know. I agree to disagree, whatever. I don't know.
Yeah. As for the Sandy Hook thing, I would say to that, for people who are like, because I know a lot of people who said things like this. Well, like, why would they do that? Like, why would they fake something like that? Like, that's so horrible, And or people who are just like, how could they even get away with that? Even if it was true that they faked it. And the more I started to learn over the years, like going down the 9/11, rabbit hole, and then going down the vaccine rabbit hole and the pharmaceutical industry rabbit hole, I started to realize, like, I don't know if that's a wise argument to make is, oh, but that's so horrible. Like, that's so mean. Like, who would do something like that? You have people that here in the world who are literally willing to like rape a kid, like people who are like molesting kids and hurt, like those things are small, like what they lied about, some kids or whatever at a school. And what if the kids never did get shot? I'm not saying that that's true, but like, what if they were in on it and they knew kids didn't get hurt? All they had to do was say, they're lying, and they get paid, or they won't get blackmailed. Like, really, is it that hard to believe?
No, and they mix truth with lies.
Yeah.
Right? So you might have somebody where actually, like, I've had a couple people say, oh, well, I know somebody whose family died in Sandy Hook. I'm like, okay, I'm not saying nobody didn't die, but what I am saying is I don't believe the official story. So they're not telling us the whole truth. So you can have that. You can have something where people are paid off to lie. Or some people really did get killed. You can have both of those situations in that one thing. So then when people try and question it, those two factions fight against each other. That's like the divide and conquer. We're like, well, this is lying. This, like, when people that question 9/11, they're like, well, I know people that died in 9/11. I'm like, okay, well, I know that. I'm not saying people didn't die, but but I think we're being lied to about how the buildings fell, or we're being lied to about the passports that just magically disappeared, or the building down the street that just fell. Like, they're things that they mix the lies with the truth, and then they get people to fight about it. And then you have those people in denial that don't want to believe, like kind of we talked about earlier, that a government would lie to them. So it's like a double betrayal. Like somebody dies, and then you find out that they were set up, that they were like murdered. It wasn't like by your own government. Like, how horrible. But then you notice with the Sandy Hook or any of these mass shootings, they never talk about antidepressants, SSRI drugs, and they always try and take the guns like right after. There's a bill. Oh, we have this bill. Like, we're gonna take the guns away. Okay, well, why aren't you focusing on the real problem, since guns don't like jump up and like shoot people? You know? So like the whole like
Yeah, focus on the real problem. Got to focus on the real problem.
Yeah.
Go back what we see around us. Like go ahead and spread my message. I go by what I see. What I see, that's what's happening. Look and see what's happening around you.
Yeah.
Comment?
I no, it's true. I mean, I always try to leave the possibility open that that when these things happen, some people could have gotten hurt. Doesn't mean that nobody got hurt or nobody got shot, but they leave certain things out. Like with the gay nightclub shooting, there was a guy that was talking about, like, he was trying to leave the club, and there were people that were on the other side of the doors holding the door shut. And then there was another interview where this guy was like, yeah, I was crawling over dead bodies on the floor, and he had light colored clothing on, and there was no blood on him. So how do you know that they didn't just send the news people over to interview a certain set of people and leave certain people out, like they did with the Florida shootings, right? They you know, David Hogg's face was all up everywhere, but yet Kyle, the other people who wanted, you know, guns and who wanted, and there was other people that were pro-gun, they weren't letting them speak. They weren't getting any attention.
Yeah.
So you're seeing how they're controlling the narrative. So just like the narrative is controlled. And I just think it's kind of creepy. I feel like they're trying to make an example with Alex Jones with the Sandy Hook thing, when you're trying to make people scared to talk about that stuff. And then when you look at these mainstream news media, they try and make you look like a conspiracy theorist and gaslight you for even questioning them. Like, how dare you question them? How dare you think that they're lying? Like, fuck you. Like, you know, like, sorry, on the room. Sorry.
Oh no, he left.
Mad because they lie and lie and lie, and their ratings are going down because of them. And and alternative media is rising because we feel like we've had to take matters into our own hand because we don't trust them anymore, and it's all their fault. They just lied and got caught. So like, why would we keep trusting them, no matter what happens? And then the Vegas shooting, there were a lot of holes in that, you know. I have friends that live in Vegas, and they were telling me stuff that the media wasn't reporting. It's just crazy. Why would we believe them? And by the way, when I got my video strikes, those are the videos that I would get the strikes on. Was talking about false flags. And I would appeal them, and I couldn't appeal them. Those are the ones that I got. The last strike I got, I was talking about false flags.
Dang. Yeah, I've seen other people got their videos. They got a strike for similar videos.
Yeah. So anyway, all right, guys. I'm sorry. Do you guys want to add anything before I shut this down?
You know what? I'm going to say, I think that it's good that the Covington thing happened, because I think for a lot of people, like, it was so blatant, the dishonesty by the media that time, like for that I think it was just a perfect example. Like, look at how you can see just how bad they lied. Like, now take that, whatever you saw, like anybody who's, no matter if you're liberal, Democrat, whatever you are, take that and apply it to everything else they've ever said to you.
Yeah, totally, right?
But like, just act like the level of lying they did there is the level of lying they've been doing. And so you have to like basically reroute your whole like thought of like what, like, of history of everything, you know, and so you have to relook at everything through like a clear glass, you know, a clear
Yeah, it's the cognitive dissonance is really interesting, because the people that be like, oh, well, they lied about this, but they wouldn't lie about that. Like, no, they lie about everything.
Yeah. And it's not like it's not like it's 1-2 lies per story. It's like the whole story. It just never happened, you know, or it's just a myth. Like, it's just the fairy tale. The whole story. It's not 1 lie, 2 lie, 1 lie, 2 lies per story.
Wow. Yeah, I know. I hate them so much. Anyway. All right, guys, let's do this again soon. Thank you so much.
Hey, thank you for having us.
All right, love you guys. All right, we'll get keep in touch soon. All right.
Bye.
Bye.
Good seeing you again, Mo.
Bye, chat. See you guys later.
Bye, chat.